Hello everyone, Sunton2, welcome to another Fabric Modpack overview, this time on some Fabric mods. A mod pack that simply adds in a good amount of different types of things to either spruce up the world, decoration, tools, and otherwise. Now there is a server pack, which I'm just going to cover all the mods in that in single player, but if you did want to try the server pack, obviously it'll be included with the download of the mod pack, so you shouldn't have too many problems accessing it. And you can also access the Discord for it as well, if you probably need to for, say, invites or certain other communication, I guess, even on the server. But besides that, though, we'll take a look at the mod list as well as what's included block-wise. So, or in-world at least. So, yeah, compared to tweaks and such. So, we've got Dawn, which adds in furniture. We've got Amethyst, which adds a tier above Diamond, adds in the usual tools and armor, as well as I think a few other things, like a hammer and such, from memory. Anti-Ghost makes it so that you can break blocks without it lagging so much. So if you have ghost blocks, for example, and typically this will happen on a server, where you're mining and it'll just happen to be that you can't see the block and you've probably mined it, but it hasn't removed its collision detection or something yet. It's going, no, I'm still here, but visually you can't see it. So it might be that the game hasn't updated yet, even though you probably have attempted to mine it. So this sort of prevents certain things like ghost blocks appearing if you have done something and it just hasn't caught up yet, or having it where, for example, it hasn't even mined it yet and it just doesn't show it. Usually this will happen if you've got a really fast pickaxe though, and you're just completely mining the area out quickly and it just can't keep up. So yeah, definitely good for servers if certain blocks are just annoying to deal with. You've got a gravestone mod, which obviously has it where if you take damage, you'll then eventually have your items and tools and blocks and such all contained in the grave, so then you can break it and get all your stuff again, so it's not just lying all over the ground. You've got better nether to improve the nether with a bunch of different blocks and world gen and such, I'm pretty sure. Better mending, which improves the mending enchantment. You've got blockers for adding in a bunch of different decoration blocks. Bow Infinity Fix for fixing the Infinity enchantment. Bunch of trinkets to either collect from structures or make, which improves certain things like boosting with an elytra, to breaking things faster with your fist, to certain other possibilities. So yeah. You've got chunk borders to show borders of chunks. You've got conveyance for adding in conveyor belts, as well as catwalks, and certain things that you can take on and off the conveyors. You've got couplings for improving doors, fence gates, and trapdoors for redstone. You've got elytra swapper for obviously swapping elytra on and off your main armor. You've got enchanted tooltips for making it easy to tell what a enchanted book does. You've got expanded storage for adding chest upgrades. You've got fabric furnaces for upgrades to furnaces to make it either faster or, I think, output more from memory. You've got durability information for displaying more in terms of armor, tools, arrows, and other things like potion effects. You've got glass doors. You've got horse stats vanilla for adding in stats in that for your horse, whether it be jump height, I think the speed or distance they go at, and their health. You've got whiler so you can tell what something's from. Inventory sorter, which adds a button to sort your inventory, as well as certain other control specific stuff like little mouse clicking, I think. You've got the ability for leaves to decay faster. You've got the ability to see what a light level is. You can obviously use ender chests with different channels via link storage. You've got Lightmatica to make building much easier. There's a bunch of different options to sort of tweak with it. You've got materialization for different tools, so you've got the ability to make hammers, picks, axes, shovels, and otherwise with different components depending on what you've got installed. So kind of Tinker's-like, but without the smeltery. You've got more enchantments. You've got mod menu, which you can see here, all the different mods, certain config options if a mod has it. You've got mod name tooltips for presenting mod names and the tooltips in certain specific ways. You've got more berries to give you more uses for berries, for cakes and juices and such. You've got orderly for adding in a health bar, as well as certain other things, like if they're undead or resistant to Bane of able to be attacked by Bane of Arthropods, I mean. A recipe and cheating in mod. Spawn soul shards is obviously for spawning and attacking mobs and such. Step height improvements, barrels, tech, machines, cables, tools and armor and such. A biome related mod that adds in additional woods as well as tons of biomes. Trinkets to obviously add in additional slots and what bunch of trinkets will obviously be supporting. Trumpet skeleton to obviously add some interesting mobs to the game, as well as a mini map being voxel map. So we'll just take a look, and you can see some of the tools here, or at least the wood tier for materialization appearing here. We've got the fluids from Tech Reborn. We've got barrels and upgrades, like so, as well as a trash can. You've got furnaces with different speed increases, fuel usage, and duplication chance, so it's giving you another resource from it. You can see what the lower levels are like. Yep, so Amethyst gives you tools and armor, as well as a hammer and a multi-tool. You've got soul shards with its resources for spawners and attacking mobs to then put into the spawner. You've got more uses for berries with juice, cakes, and berry bushes. You've got glass versions of doors. You've got upgrades to chests, different slots and material use. Terrestria adding in things like basalt, different trees, woods, and then obviously compatible stuff like fences, stairs, signs, trapdoors, fence gates, boats, and more. So just sort of skim over some of those. And there is a Dawn support for these as well, with coffee tables, drawers, tables, and more. Dawn obviously adds in crates and lamps, as well as kitchen sinks, coffee tables, chimneys, shelves, steps, platforms, posts, drawers, tables, sofas, and more. You've got Blockus adding in a bunch of legacy blocks, as well as certain others for decoration, as you can see there. So some with patterns, some that are tiled, some that are just coloured bricks, fruit and vegetables in crates, uses for netherrack, bluestone, which is a new one that spawns in the world, limestone, and more. Coloured lamps, purple, soul sand, soaked pavements, lava bricks, asphalt, coloured glass or differently textured glass, pillar versions of terracotta, bamboo, hedges, and barrels. You've got Tech Reborn adding in different fluids and cells and tools and power tools, armor, the gem and bronze variety. You've got your dusts and different components, some ingots and alloys, and you've got your machines and your power storage and so on. So you've got things like a canning machine, implosion compressor, which is an upgrade to the compressor, electric furnace, grinder for dusts from ores and things, extractor for rubber and so on, and a ton of different ores, solar panels and other generators, and different cables. Bed and nether, of course, adding in additional ladders and other uses for blocks that you find in the nether. You've got different trees and other plant life that spawns in. There's different glass and so on. So a ton of different woods and other materials and uses for them. Conveyance, adding in a bunch of different blocks for routing items and other things, and then conveyor belts, different speeds, vertical or horizontal use, and then catwalks for getting around. Materialization with its patterns, and we obviously saw the tools earlier. Bunch of trinkets for adding in obviously the additional things for flying without rockets with an elytra, walking up slopes immediately, breaking blocks without a tool faster, so that's by using your fist, swapping your hotbars with a key binding, consuming food so you don't have to, and further build reach. And then that is it. And then finally we have our mini-map or world map, so we can see what's available. So you've got settings for displaying coordinates if you don't want to view the mini-map. You've got the size changes, rotation of the map, cave mode, signs and otherwise, square and rounded, location where it's placed, and you can change a bunch of other settings, of course, whether it be key bindings, what the world map does, seeing the radar of the mobs, other players, and so on. And yeah, thanks so much for watching, and goodbye.